I was just saying, if you hear of anybody who needs a shower board, this is the system in showering,
Right.
tell me.
Yeah.
Great.
Tell me if it's
True.
It's just all, it's just temporarily.
Just when you don't think you're gonna hear anything, suddenly something will say, something's done. Looking for a shower. Yeah. Keep it in mind.
We are starting.
It was just at 9.
We are starting the, is that amazing?
I can be excluded that.
Great.
Good morning, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Chag Sameach. Welcome. This service has got a little bit of everything in it this morning. We don't only read from one Torah, we read from two Torahs. We have half a Hallel, well, half a Hallel. We have Yizkor, so we've got Hallel, which is the most joyous part of the service. Yizkor, which is a solemn remembering of folks who have passed. So it's got a little bit of everything. So settle in. Don't look at your watches. It's going to be longer than usual, but that's the way it goes.
All right.
Feel free to walk. Stay as long as you want. Take your walk, whatever. And just, it's nice to be together as we conclude Pesach, which is one of the most amazing holidays. So let's begin in our Shabbat Sidurim on page 61 with how good it is that we are here together in this Mishkan, in this sanctuary. The beginning of the last paragraph, page 61. Ma tovu Yaakov Yishnov Zerecha Yisrael. Ma tovu May this be an auspicious time, Adonai, for my prayer. Your love, O God, is great. Answer me with your true deliverance. Va'ani tefilati lech Adonai et ratzon Elohim berov chastecha aneni be'emet yisrael. Let's continue on page 63, giving thanks for the pure soul that's restored within us every morning. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. 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 Elohai כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי, מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר נשמות לפגרים מתים.
Amen.
Page 65. We give thanks for all the little and big things in life that are renewed to us each morning. These are prayers of gratitude for clothing to wear, for freedom, for being able to stand up tall and straight. So page 65, let's think about things we're grateful for this morning as we also recite this list. Either sing together or respond with Amen. All is good. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasechli bina lachim ein yom v'ein layla. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokei kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzarki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamekim b'tzadek haver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanosein le'alev kol. And on the same page on the English side, counting up 6 lines from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's read together. Strengthen our desire to do good deeds. Teach us humility that we may serve you. May we find grace, love, and compassion in your sight and in the sight of all who look upon us this day and every day. Grant us a full measure of loving kindness. Praised are you, Adonai, who bestows loving kindness upon God's people of Israel. Nice to be reminded of chesed, loving kindness, right at the beginning of the service. Page 83. And to be reminded of the gift of the world that we're given, of creation, at each morning. Page 83. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch oseh bereshit, Baruch omer be'oseh, Baruch yoser u'mekayem, Baruch mirachem al haaretz, Baruch mirachem al habriot, Baruch mishalem
Netzach. Baruch Hodeh Umatzil, Baruch Shemo.
יחיד חיי העולמים מלך משובח ומפואר עדי עד שמו הגדול ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מהולל בתשבחות. Page 85. On the Hebrew side, we'll sing the 9th line, and then we skip the 10th line, and we go to the 11th line. Let the heavens be glad, let the earth rejoice. There's a little call and response to this, so feel free to join that as well.
Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'sagel haaretz. Yiram hayom, yiram hayom, yiram hayom, umelo, yiram hayom. Yiram hayom, yiram hayom, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'sagel haaretz. Yiram hayom, yiram hayom, yiram hayom, yiram hayom, yiram hayom, yiram hayom.
And page 87, in the middle of the page, where we come to single lines in the Hebrew, reminding us that the Torah revives our spirit, enlightens us, gladdens the heart, and opens the eyes.
And you do Hagmo with the big boy, it gives you a kilo. That's not here.
Right, but it brings us joy, we can see good humor here in the morning. The services are not only serious, they're also joyous.
Torah Adonai Tzima, Torah Adonai Tzima, Torah Adonai Tzima, Meshivat Nafesh, Eidus Adonai Nevana, Machimas, Machimat Tetzim, V'kudei Adonai Yisharim, V'kudei Adonai Yisharim, V'kudei Adonai Yesharim, Mesamchelei, Mitzvahs Adonai Bara, Ne'iras Einayim, Yirat Adonai Torah, Yirat Adonai Torah, Yirat Adonai Tzedekah, Omed Etzah, Mishpetei Adonai Eremet, Tzaku, Tzaku Yai,
Let's go to page 89. On the Hebrew side, counting up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. Limnot Yameinu Ken Hoda V'Navi Levav Chachma. Teach us to number our days, that we may get us a heart of wisdom. It's also in the English, teach us, they say teach us to use all our days that we may attain a heart of wisdom. And we'll sing it both in the Hebrew and in the English. And we sing this many Shabbat mornings, but it's nice to sing this one because we are in the period of numbering our days, of the Omer counting, which started the second night of Pesach. So those of us who are trying to count Omer this year, I usually make it, but not every day. Each day is important. Each day counts. How do we see the preciousness of each day? Limnot Yameinu, Limnot Yameinu, Limnot Yameinu Ken Hoda V'Navi Levav Chachma. Limnos Yameinu Ken Hoda V'Navi Levav Chachma. Teach us to use all our days. Teach us to use all our days, that we attain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to use all our days, that we attain a heart of wisdom. Teach us to use all our days. And a day we don't necessarily use, but a day of pure joy is the Shabbat. And there's a special song for the day of Shabbat, page 94. And let's first read the first 4 stanzas in English, and then we'll sing it in Hebrew. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai, your designs are beyond our grasp. Tov Hodom Adonai, Tov Hodom Adonai, Ulesamer, L'shivchayom, Tov Hodom Adonai, V'hagi b'boker chastecha, V'hagi b'boker chastecha, V'emunatecha b'leilos, V'emunatecha b'leilos, Let's continue on page 100. even if our Hebrew's a little rusty, as long as we got the word hallelujah down, we can do most of this. So in the middle of page 100, hallelujah in Hebrew means hallelujah, in English it means hallelujah. Same word. Middle of the page. Hallelujah, 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 El Bekacho, hallelujah, Bekiaruzah, hallelujah. The Gurasa, hallelujah, Kedokuma, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, betake a shofar. Hallelujah, benever bechinor. Hallelujah, betov kumachor. Hallelujah, benini be'ugar. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 betzils leishama, hallelujah, betzils leitruah, kol hashama, tehallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Page 104. Nishma Kochai Tivarech Eshivcha Adonai Eloheinu. You stir the sleeping, give voice to the speechless, free the fettered, support the falling, and raise those bowed down. You alone do we acknowledge. Let's continue reading in English, page 104 at the bottom. Together. From Egypt you redeemed us, from the house of bondage you delivered us. In famine you nourished us, in prosperity you sustained us. You rescued us from the sword, protected us from pestilence, and saved us from severe and lingering disease. To this day your compassion has sustained us, your kindness has not forsaken us, never abandoned us, Adonai our God. Page 105 in the middle. Actually, 105, 2 lines up from the middle. in the middle. Shochenan Maharon Vekadosh Shemo B'Yisharim Titara U'B'Divrei Tzadikim Titara U'B'Lshon Chasidim Titara U'B'Kerem Kedoshim Titarash U'Machalos K'Riberos Amechayes Yisrael שכן חובת כל היצורים לפניך אדון אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו להודות ולהלל לשבח ולפאר ולרומם להדר לברך עליך ולפרנס על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות דוד בן ישי עבדך ושכך ישתבח שמך ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות אל ההודאות אדון הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך אלוהי Hopefully we've now warmed up. And now we're ready for the formal start of the beginning, which is shown with the transition of the Chatzi Kaddish followed by the Baruch Hu. Please rise, page 106 in the middle. And then we'll go right into the Baruch Hu on 107. Yikada v'yikada shemei Rava Yalma dibra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechom yomechom u'chayechom beit Yisrael Bagala u'bizman karim v'yimeru Yesh me'rama mevarach le'olam le'amaya yisborach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipahar v'yitromam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei kodeshah ve'ela Kol bechata v'shirata tushbechasa v'nechem ha'zogam v'hiran v'yomam v'yemeru Page 107. Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai, Hamivorach, Hamivorach, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or u'roshech oseh shalom u'borei et hakol. Be seated as we continue on page 108, giving thanks for all the heavenly lights of day and night that light the sky and follow God's will. It's also in transliteration on the bottom of 108. El Adon Akol Hamasim Baruch Umorach Befi Kol Neshama V'tuvo Malei Olam Na'atu Tmuna Sof V'imoso HaMizrael Hayot HaKodesh V'neda B'chavod Ala Merkavo Zehu Tumisholi Ekisof Chesed Merachamim Lifnei Vodo Tovim Me'orot Shebara Eloheinu Yitzchak B'da'at B'bina Uvaskel Koach U'gvurot Na'asan Ohem Liot Moshe V'kerem V'Evel Melei Zim U'Fligi Noga Na'ezim Olam B'chol HaOlam Shemeichim V'Setam V'Sarsim V'Olam Osim V'Yegmor Etzon Kol Na'am Ge'er V'Chavod Nozim Lishmot Tzava V'Rina L'Zecher Malchutzo Kolam HaShemesh V'Yizrach L'Orah V'Hizkim Surat HaBamah Shemach Nozim Lo Lo Tevana Lo Tiferet U'Gedula Serafim Ve'ofanim V'chayot HaKodesh La 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 Page 109, the top paragraph. Let's read together in English, reminding us of Shabbat being a delight. To God, who completed the work of creation on the seventh day and ascended God's glorious throne. God robed the day of rest in beauty, calling Shabbat a delight. God ceased all God's labors on Shabbat. That is its distinction. The seventh day itself hymns praise to God. A song for Shabbat. It is good to proclaim Adonai. Tibarach Mosheinu Shevach Masei Yadecha Bal Me'orei Shasita Yifaru Chaseda. Page 110. Tibarach Seinu Malkeinu Aleinu Bareinu Shishim. 3.5 lines from the top at the box in the middle of the page, middle of the line, page 110. Kulam Morim, Kulam Merim, Kulam Giborim, וכולם עושים באימה וביראה רצון קונם. וכולם פותחים את פיהם בקדושה ובטהרה, בשירה ובזמרה, ומברכים ושחים, ומפארים ומעריצים, ומקדישים וממליכים. את שם האל הנעלה, הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, הקדוש הוא. ומקבלים עליהם עול מלכות שמיים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה, להקדיש לעצמם בנחת רוח, בשפה ברורה ונימה קדושה, כולם כאחד עומדים ואומרים ביראה, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, לאור הארץ כבודו. בפנים לחיות הקודש, ברעש גדול מנסים ומצרפים, לעומתם נשבים ואומרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ברוך Cause a new light to illumine Zion, may we all soon share a portion of its radiance. Or Chadash al Zion Ta'ir, v'nizkeh lanu me'era le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Amen. Page 111, Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu. With great love, you have loved us. Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu, Open our eyes to your Torah, help our hearts cleave to your mitzvot. The second paragraph on 111, we'll sing all the way through the rest of the page and then continue with the Shema on page 112. V'ha'enu b'sorasecha, v'nahanu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachel le'havenu le'amava u'yirah eshemecha, v'lo negos le'olam ba'en, v'lo negos le'olam ba'en, ki Hashem ka'adshecha Agadol hanura batachnu, na'ila v'hadisnecha, Shimcha Hagadol Sebemet Lehodos Becha Uliakecha Uliakecha Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Amo Yisrael Le'ad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושמעת לבבך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ובשעתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Adonai Elohechem דור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים וכיסונכם ומלכותו באמונתו לקיים. Last four lines on page 113. Emet she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu malkeinu melech avoteinu Kol aleinu Kol avoteinu Yotzreinu Tzur Yeshuateinu Podenu Matzileinu Me'olam Shemecha Ein Elohim Zulatecha Ezra Avoteinu Atahu Me'olam. We're about to begin the Amidah, the standing silent prayer, which we start together and continue silently. And when we do, that'll be on page 123b and following, and we add the words in parentheses for Shabbat. But before that, we give thanks for being free people. Not only on Pesach, but every service, every day. With the Micha Mocha prayer reminding us of the song that our people chanted by the Red Sea as we were delivered from slavery, because really, as free people, we're fully free to praise God with the Amidah following. So let's continue now, page 114. We'll start with the Micha Mocha call and response, and there's some transliteration on the left side of the page, in the middle of the page, which is almost as hard as the Hebrew, and then we'll go into the Amidah. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Va'elim Adonai, Va'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Nedar Ba'kodesh, Nedar Ba'kodesh, Nohora, Nohora, Tehilot, Tehilot, Oseh, Shira Parashat Shilchugu L'Mishikal Sfat Hayam Yachar Kol HaModuvim Lichu Ve'amru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed Tzur Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Yehuda beYisrael, Go'aleinu, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Adonai, Yisrael. 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotzeinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Saba Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אלוהים, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הטוב, זוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גורל לבני בניהם, ומשהו ביאהבה, מלך עוזר וקדוש ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ufalkei Tzava. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Netzimatar Shmira. Mechaker Chaim Bechesed, Mechayim Netzim Berachamim Rabim. צומח נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בגבורה
ומדור מלך, מלך מביס ומחייך, ומצמיח ישועה. ברוך אתה אדוני לחיי המצרים. נקדש שמך לעולם, שם מקדישים עשו בשני מרום, ככסו ביד דבריך, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ יבודו. אז כל הרש גדול, אדיר חזק, משמיעים רוב, נכנסים למסעות, ומסע ברוך יאמרו. ברוך כבוד אדוני נקרא. ושמח עלינו, כי בחגים אנחנו. מצאתי ציון, בקרוב ימינו יום ועת וישום. תזכר ותזכר, בצוק ירושלים עירך. ונצח נצחים. בעינינו סירנו מחוסך ימלוך אדוני עולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. דור ודור, לדור ודור, דור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד לך. דור ודור, לדור ודור, דור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד לך. ולנצח נצחים, קדושת ונקדיש, קדושת ונקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ולעולם ועד. דור ודור, לדור ודור, דור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד לך. דור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד לך. יהיה מלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. יהיה מלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. Amen.
My phone, 2025, following works, thoughts and efforts. Our service continues with a Hallel on page 133. And one thing that is probably familiar to most of us, but I just want to say it because I just find it an amazing thing. On Passover, for most of the Passover, which is one of the special holidays, we don't say a full Hallel. We say a full Hallel on Sukkot, we say a full Hallel on Shavuot, but the third of the three major pilgrimage holidays, we only say a partial Hallel. Why, you ask breathlessly? Because, Joan,
People died.
not only people died, it's true, for sure, but also our enemies died. Right?
That's what I meant.
When the Red Sea parted and we went through, and then the army that followed us, that was trying to capture us and kill us, the Red Sea closed on them and they were killed. And the angels up in heaven, we're told, said to God, "Let's sing, let's rejoice." And God said, "No. How can I sing when my creatures are not, even though they're enemies of my people? They're still my creatures. They're still human. To still remember at a time, we've been oppressed by these people for hundreds of years. Still remember, even the humanity of our enemies is an amazing thing to do. Amazing thing to do. And so we diminish our joy a little bit from Hallel because others suffered even people who were not very nice to us, suffered in our liberation. So we're still glad about being liberated. We're still going to sing Hallel, but we diminish it just a little bit because Sukkot and Shavuot didn't involve the death of anyone, even of our enemies. Amazing teaching. So let's continue now with Hallel, page 133. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et ha'Hallel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, God lifts the poor out of the dust, raises the needy from the rubbish heap, and seats them with the powerful of God's people. God settles a barren woman in her home, a mother happy with children. Hallelujah. Nihikimi me'afardal me'ashbot yarim elyon lehoshivi nidivei amo hoshivi akeret habayis emamanim snecha. Hallelujah. Last third of the page 133. בצאת ישראל ממצרים, בית יעקב מעם לועז. בצאת ישראל ממצרים, בית יעקב מעם לועז. הייתה יבולה לקדשו, ישראל עם שלותם. הים המעיינות, הירדן יסוף ונפול, ההרים רקדו כאלים, יבואו כבני צאן. בצאת ישראל ממצרים, בית יעקב מעם לועז. מה לך הים,
מה לך הים,
כי תנוס,
כי סנוס.
הירדן,
הירדן,
תיסוב לאחור,
תיסוב לאחור.
ההרים
ההרים
ירקדו חיילים,
תרקדו חיילים.
גבעות
גבעות
יבנה צאן,
כבני צאן.
מלפני אדון,
מלפני אדון,
כולי הארץ,
כולי הארץ. מלפני
אלוה יעקב,
אלוהי יעקב,
ההוכי הצור,
ההוכי הצור,
הגהמים,
הגהמים,
חלמיש,
חלמיש,
שמיינו מים,
למענו חיים.
Page 134, the second half. Adonai Zecharon Yivarech, Yivarech et Beit Yisrael, Yivarech et Beit Aharon, Yivarech Yirei Adonai, הקטנים הגדולים, יוסף אדוני עליכם, עליכם ועל עיניכם, ברוכים אתם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ, שמיים אדוני, ובארץ נתן לבני אדם, לכנסים יהללויה, ולא יודענו מה, ואנחנו נברכיה, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. Page 135, counting up from the bottom of the page, 7 lines. We remind ourselves that we are still slaves, but servants of God, not of other human beings. Ana Adonai ki ani avdecha, ani avdecha, be'amasecha, ani avdecha, be'amasecha, pitachta le'mosei. Adonai ki ani avdecha, ani avdecha, be'amasecha, ani avdecha, be'amasecha. 136. Hallelujah, Adonai, Goyim shavuhu, shavuhu, Korumim, Ki gavar aleinu, aleinu chasto. Yamas Adonai, hallelujah. Oh, to Adonai, Yitov, Yirei Olam, Yirei Olam Chasam. Yom Yisrael, Kili Olam Chasam, Yom Bruna, Beis Aharon, Kili Olam Chasam, Yom Bruna, Yirei Adonai, Kili Olam Chasam. Min from my distress, from my oppressed place, I called out to God, Anani B'Mechavia, and God answered me with expansiveness. Page 136, the 7th line. Bin HaMetzar Karakia, Anani B'Mechavia, Bin HaMetzar Karakia, Anani Oziv Zimrat Yah, by Hili Lishua. God is my strength, my might, and my deliverance. 8 lines up from the bottom, same page, 136. Oziv Zimrat Yah, by Hili Lishua. Zimrat Yah, Vayehili Lishua. Zimrat Yah, Vayehili Lishua. Last two lines, 136. Page 137, each line repeats the first four lines. We remind us that the stone that was once rejected has become the cornerstone, meaning the Jewish people, and reminding us, Zeh Hayom Asa Adonai. This is the day that God has made. Nagila v'nismecha bo. Let us rejoice and be happy in it. Odecha ki anisani v'atiri Yeshua. Odecha ki anisani v'atiri Yeshua. Even masus habonim. Ha'isalelos bina, even masus habonim. Ha'isalelos bina, me'ez Adonai, ha'islesos, ha'ifas be'einenu. Me'ez Adonai, ha'islesos, Yinifas b'einenu zeh hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha bo zeh hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha bo. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, Berach Elohim b'eis Adonai. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, Berach Elohim Adonai. Ela Adonai v'yamenu. Yitzchak ha'avosim atkanot ha'mizbeach. El Adonai v'yamenu. Yisraeloti ma'ikainot ha'miseya Ata be'odeka Elohai Beneko Eliata be'odeka Elohai Hodu Adonai Yitro Kirei Olam Pasko Hodu Adonai Yitro Kirei Olam Pasko. Baruch atah Adonai melech mehulah. Page 138, if we need to take a seat, feel free. Yikarami karashem elamai Yomadi rachut gam lichma chutei v'chaychon v'yamechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael v'agalam zman karibi v'meru Amen Yesh neiran v'mevorah Le'olam olam le'omayo Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitparadiru ma'minasei V'yitadar v'yitala v'yitala shmir kudusha V'lechu Le'elam Yikol v'chata v'shirata Tishbechata v'nechamata Ta'amiran ba'alma v'emeru Amen Tikaval tzvotan v'votan v'chai Yisrael Kolam v'amam v'shmai v'emeru Amen Yehei shlam ha'rava min Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'chai Yisrael v'emeru Amen Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'emeru Amen Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'emeru Amen Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Let's continue with the service for taking the Torah out of the Ark, page 139. Excuse me. How for doing it? Good. And we take two Torahs out today. One for Shabbat and one for
Whatever you want.
Pesach.
No, whatever you want. I take orders.
So, page 139, if we're able, please rise.
Ein kamokav Elohim Adonai, ein kamatzecha,
Malchutecha, Malchut, Olamim, U'mishatecha, V'chol Adonai Melech, Adonai Yimot Le'olam Va'ed, Adonai Yitzei, Adonai Yivarech Amo B'Shalom, Avrachamim, Etzion Yisrael, Tivrech Amot Yerushalayim, Tivrech
Shema, Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, Hiddu Shalom.
Page 140, the sixth line.
Baby on a rocket,
Felice Kadisha Yakira, Anamimar to Shrefa,
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Kodosh Adonenu, Kodosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Adonai Kadosh Shemo.
Hallelu Adonai Niti, Umerama Shemo Yaktah.
Let's be seated. The first Torah reading for this morning is from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 12, otherwise known as page 1079 in our friendly neighborhood Humashim. 1079. And it'd be interesting, I think, to kind of take a look at the latter part of the reading is about the 3 pilgrimage festivals we just talked about, Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuot. But the first part talks about an indentured servant. If someone of our people has to pay off a debt and can't, and becomes a servant for someone for 7 years, what happens with that? So let's take a look at that, because I want to spend a little time on that a little later too. Okay? So, ויעזור ידי משיח לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. כל הבו גדל להידדו כבוד לתורה.
יעמוד לוי מקום כהן. יעקב בן יסקיל וחנה.
ראש נתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושת טוב, אתם הדליקים עליכם חיים כולכם.
We need to do this again.
Will you do this again?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it again.
Okay. This time it's Tamod Levi Vacham Kohen. Nitza bat Menachem Babat. Go back.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
כי מכר לך אחיך העברי, או העברייה בעברך 6 שנים, ובשנה השביעית תשלחנו חפשי מאמך, וכי תשלחנו חפשי מאמך, לא תשלחנו ריקם, העני תעניק לו מצומך, מגורך ומגבך, אשר ברכך אדוני אלוהיך, תיתן לו וזכרת, כי עבד היית בארץ מצרים, ויפתח אדוני אלוהיך, על כן אנוכי מצווך את הדבר הזה היום, את הדבר הזה היום.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
What page are we on?
We are on page 1079, verse 16.
Sorry. Yamod Shalom ben Yitzchak Bezekiah Le Halevi.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamborah. Baruch Adonai Hamborah le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamborah le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. והיה כי יאמר אליך לא אצא עמך, כי אהבך ואת ביתך, כי תבוא עמך, ולקחת את המרצע, ונתת באזנו ובדלת, והיה לך עבד עולם, ואף למותך תעשה כן, לא יקשה בעיניך, ושלחך אותו חפשי מאימה, כי משני שכר שכיר עבדך 6 שנים, וברכך אדוני אלוהיך בכל אשר תעשה.
אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. יישר כוח.
יעמוד שלישי, מיכאל בן נוח ורחליה.
So now we're on 1080, verse 19.
Who has been around? Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bo chavonu mikol hamim, v'nosavonu esroto, Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Kol habechor asher yivaled b'kfarcha v'tzorcha hazachar takish l'Adonai Elohecha lo tavod b'chor shorecha v'lo tagos b'chor tzonecha lifnei Adonai Elohecha tachenu shana b'shana ma'makom asher yibchar Adonai ata u'betecha v'chi yehebo Piseach o iber kol numra lo tizbechenu l'Adonai Elohecha bisharecha tochenu hatamei v'hatahor yachtav katzvi v'chayal rak et damo lo tochel al haaretz tishbechenu kamayim.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher noten לנו תורה אמת, וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו, Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
That was our only name.
Okay,
Bonnie?
אלמלא רחמים שוכן במרומים, המצא מלוכה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע, מסירים את נשמת רחליה, בת פני שהפך לעולמה, בגן עדן תהא מלוכתה, אנא בעל רחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים. ותצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה, אדוני נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר אמן. יישר כוח.
Talmud Revi'i, Deborah Hannah, but it's torn off. Baruch.
We're on the beginning of chapter 16 on 1081.
Aku et Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Haborach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch et Adonai noten haTorah.
Now we get to the Pesach part. Some of this will sound very familiar from other Sedarim. Shamor et Chodesh Aviv asita Pesach Adonai Elohecha ki b'Chodesh Aviv hotziacha Adonai Elohecha miMitzrayim laila v'zavachta Pesach Adonai Elohecha tzom v'bakar b'makom asher yivchar Adonai l'shaken shemo sham lo tochal alav chametz Shivat Yamim, Tochal Alav Matzot Lechem Oni, Ki B'chipazon, Yatzata me'eretz Mitzrayim, Leman Tizkor, Et Yom Tzecha me'eretz Mitzrayim, Kol Yemei Chayecha, V'lo Yera'eh Lecha Se'or, B'chol Givucha Shivat Yamim, V'lo Yavin Min Habasar, Asher Tizbach Ba'arev Bayom Harishon La'amoker.
Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'shechinu. Baruch et Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And let's do a prayer for healing. Mishabelach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et
Jimmy Eisenstein, Bobby Eisenstein, Bobby Levy, and Eileen Blomstein.
Patricia Stewart Well.
Andrew Kagan and Mark Levine.
Edward Kaplan.
Michael Ben Noach, Eileen Kleberg, Robert Carlin, Deb Moss.
Young Jay, Charlotte Reed.
ואת כל החולים בקהילה הקדושה הזאת, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם להחזיקם ולרפאותם, וישלח להם מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, בתוך שאר חולי ישראל. שבת היא ביום טוב הוא מלזעוק, ורפואה קרבה לבוא, השתה בגלה בזמן קריב, ונאמר Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bring blessing and healing to all those who are ill within our congregational family. May they be blessed with a full and complete healing, a healing of spirit and a healing of body, together with all those who are ill among the Jewish people and among the world. May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all those who are ill be surrounded by the love of their friends, their loving companions, their families, and their community. And let us say,
Amen.
Talmud, Hamishi, Yosefa.
Yeah.
But there's no vowels. Is it Misha?
Moshe and Adira.
Oh, Moshe.
1082 verse 5.
Is it Adira?
Adira. Baruch et Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Olam Va'ed.
Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch et Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Lo tuchal lizboach et ha'pasach v'chad sharecha asher melhecha noten lach ki melamakom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha l'shaken shemo sham tizbach et ha'pesach ba'arev kevo hashemesh moed tzecha miMitzrayim ובשלת ואכלת במקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך בו ופנית בבוקר והלכת לו הלכה 6 ימים תאכל מצות וביום השביעי עצרת לאדוני אלוהיך לא תעשה מלאכה.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natav b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
Yashikach. Thank you very much. And now we come to the Aliyah, which talks about the Omer period, leading up to Shavuot, which is what we're in now. This part.
Yamod Shishi, Idol Shalom, Ben Moshe, Berachale.
Okay.
So now we're on 9. We're on verse 9 on 1083.
Baruch et Adonai Baruch.
Baruch
Baruch Elam Voed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'nosan lanu et Torato. Baruch et Adonai noten haTorah.
Shiva Shavuot Tizbarach Me'achel Chemesh Bakama Tachel Lispor Shiva Shavuot Ve'asita Chag Shavuot L'Adonai Elohecha Misad Mivad Yadcha Asher Titem Kasher Yivarechecha Adonai Elohecha V'samachta Lifnei Adonai Elohecha אתה וביתך וביתך, ועבדך ומתך, והלוי אשר בשעריך, והגר, והיתום והאלמנה אשר בקרבך, במקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך, לשכן שמו שם, וזכרת כי עבד היית במצרים, ושמרת ועשית את החוקים. אמן.
Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah sames v'chai olam t'svachenu. Baruch et Adonai noten haTorah.
Tamod Shvi'i, Bela Bat Golda Vahershel.
So now we're on 1084, verse 13.
And we note in talking both about Shavuot and Sukkot, which are times of joy, the word of Simcha is there, but also it's both of them mention that we should be sure to invite and to include the stranger, the widow, the orphan. Our joy is not complete until the whole community can share in that joy.
Baruch et Adonai Hamorah. Baruch Adonai Hamorah Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. חג הסוכות תעשה לך 7 ימים, ואוספך מגורנך ומקראך, ושמחת בחגיך. אתה ובתך ועבדך ואמתך, והלוי והגר והיתום והאלמנה אשר בשעריך, 7 ימים תחוג אדוני אלוהיך במקום אשר יבחר אדוני, כי יברכך אדוני אלוהיך בכל תבואתך ובכל מעשה ידיך, והיית אך שמח 3 פעמים בשנה. יראה כל זכורך את פני אדוני אלוהיך במקום אשר יבחר, בחג המצות ובחג השבועות ובחג הסוכות, ולא יראה את פני אדוני ריקם. איש כמתנת ידו כברכת אדוני אלוהיך אשר נתן לך.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. יעמד יברח ירותי וימלך מלכותי.
Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Olamei Omayot
Yitbarach Yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei B'Kodeshah Le'ila min kol birchata v'shivrata
Tushbechata v'nechemata v'yiram yama v'yimaru Amen.
Bio, one wait.
This is the late one.
I know. Yamod Chagba, Vital Shalom, but then Moshe, I didn't just say
Moshe Lev.
Moshe Lev. Barak Lev. The Talmud, Leila, Rachel, then Abraham Bazara.
Let's stand as the first Torah is lifted in time.
V'zos Torah asher son Moshe b'nei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai V'yad Moshe Toga Hallelujah Toga Hallelujah
hallelujah. Torah, 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 hallelujah. Torah, hallelujah.
Let's be seated.
New pages to turn to. 932, verse 19.
Yamod Maftir Chaim ben Avraham Bolea.
What's it in here?
For Kuetz Adonai Hamborah. Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'nasan Lanu Es Toraso. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
V'hikratem Yisrael Adonai Parim b'nei Bakar Shnayim b'ayil echad v'shiva kvasim b'nei Shana Tminim Yulachem Umin Chatam Soletu L'Havashamen Shlosha Esronim L'Par U'shnei Esronim L'Ayil Ta'asu Isaron Tasela Keves HaEchad V'shivat HaKvasim U'seir Chatat Echad V'chaper Aleichem Milvad Olat HaBoker Asher Le'olat HaTamid Ta'asu Et Ele Ka'ele Ta'asu Layom Shivat Yamim Lechem Yishareach Michalach L'Adonai Al Olat HaTamid Ye'aseh V'nizko U'bayom Hashvi'i Mikra Kodesh Yelachem Kol Melechet Avodah Lo Ta'asu.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Nasan Lanu Torah Emes V'chayei Olam Yata V'sachenu Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Yashikov.
Yes.
Yamod Haba Shalom ben Yitzchak v'Zakiah and Miriam.
Let's stand as the second Torah is lifted in time.
Thank you.
I just want to draw our attention to the Haftarah for today. We're not going to do it, but if anyone of us wants to spend some time looking at it, it's beautiful. It's on page 1316. And it's the Haftarah for the last day of Pesach. So Pesach, we've had first a leaving of oppression, a leaving from slavery. And now what this Haftarah gives us is a vision of what we can do with our freedom. For example, it talks about there will be a leader in page 1316, chapter 11, and verse 2, and the Spirit of the Lord shall alight upon him, a spirit of wisdom and insight, a spirit of counsel and valor, a spirit of devotion and reverence for the Lord. He shall sense the truth by his reverence for the Lord. He shall not judge by what his eyes behold, nor decide by what his ears perceive. Thus he shall judge the poor with equity, and decide with justice for the lowly of the land. That's part of what we can achieve and aspire for with our freedom. And then, just such a moving and beautiful vision from verse 6 on 1317. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf, the beast of prey, and the fatling together, with a little boy to herd them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young shall lie down together, and the lion, like the ox, shall eat straw. A babe shall play over a viper's hole, and an infant pass his hand over an adder's den. In all my sacred mount, nothing evil or vile shall be done. For the land shall be filled with devotion to the Lord, as water covers the sea. All life, all nature, human and animal, will live in peace together. And then for those of us who know a lot of songs, I might be thinking of you, Lisa, in particular. If you look on page 1318, much of this Torah portion has become part of our liturgy. Verse 2, Hine el Yeshuati atach v'lo avchad, ki ozi v'zimrat yad. Just what we sang this morning by Hili Yeshua, part of our prayers. Ushaftem mayim b'sason, mimanei ha-Yeshua. The dance, Ushaftem mayim, comes from here. May we draw water and joy from the springs of salvation. It's just very, and the next one also is a song that's entered the liturgy. Just a very, very beautiful image of what we hope. It's not enough just to be free. It's enough to have an image, a vision of what we want to aspire to do with our freedom. Something to look at. And something that can inspire us also is remembering the past. Is remembering those who came before us. Some of whom, in our families, especially those who may have come from Europe, never really experienced freedom. Or came to this country in search of freedom. Especially to pass on some of that gift to us. So let's take some moments now as we begin the Yizkor service to balance our visions for the future with the past, with those who loved us in the past and who have given us life and who we treasure their memory and use it as an inspiration for what we might do as well. Let's start by turning to page 188. And let's read responsively in the English, page 188. There is a time for everything, for all things under the sun. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to laugh and a time to cry.
A time to dance and a time to mourn.
A time to seek and a time to lose. A time to forget and a time to remember. This day in sacred convocation we remember those who gave us life. We remember those who enriched our lives with love and beauty, kindness and compassion, thoughtfulness and understanding. We renew our bonds to those who have gone the way of all the earth, to those whose memory moves us this day. As we reflect upon them, we seek consolation and the strength and the insight born of faith. Let's continue on 190, the reading number 2, also responsibly. When Yizkor is recited, we affirm our love of those so near and dear who have physically left us. Our love, however, does not rest on physical being. It is deeper than that. When we love the inner being of the beloved, the quality that makes for uniqueness, the spirit that creates personality and character. That does not ever disappear. It remains with us as long as we live. Time eases the pain of loss, but does not erode the affection and emotions we feel for the one who no longer moves about in our midst. We know that whatever lives someday must die. That, however, is true only of the material world. The spiritual will endure forever. When we lose one who is dear, we mourn, but we must not mourn excessively. We must be grateful for what we have had and find comfort in our memories. We must continue the task of living, paying tribute to our departed by contributing to the lives of others. Let's take some time now to ourselves, looking through the section, their various readings, or just looking into our hearts and remembering the people who are beloved to us. For many, it's a custom to stand. It's up to you. page 196. Gamalei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamroim, Amtzei Menucha Netrona, Tachat Kantei Hashchina, B'ma'alot Kedoshim U'Techorim, Kezohar Harakia V'Tzirim, L'nishmot Kol Elef Shenizkarnu Hayom Livracha, Shehalchu Le'olamam, V'gam Eden Tinuchatam, Ama Bal Harachamim, Hastirem B'Setek Nefecha Li'alamim, Utzror B'Tzror HaChayim Et Nishmotehem, Adonai Hu Nachalatam, Ve'yanuchu B'Shalom, HaMishkevosehem, Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want in Hebrew. Please join me if you know it or hum along. Page 197. Mizmor David, Adonai Roi Yoetzro, B'inotem Sheyar Yitzeni, Amei Menuchotim Nafshi Yeshoveh, Nafshi Yeshoveh, Yafendi B'maglet Tzedek, Leman Shelo, Ki Elech Be'etz HaMames, Lo Yo'imah, Ki Ata Imani, Shivtecha U'mishatecha, Shivtecha U'mishatecha, Einai Yadamuni, Tarak Lefanai, Tarak Lefanai Shulchan, Tarak Lefanai
בבית
May the Kaddish which we now recite be not only a remembrance of those no longer with us, but also a reminder of how we should live and the values that we should represent in their memory. Page 198.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעולם יברח חירוסי וימליך מלכוסי, בחיי הון ויומי חון, בחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך ועולם עולמי עמנו. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתזהר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קדושה ברכו לעילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Let's go back to page 153. We remain standing as we open the Ark to prepare to return the Torahs to the Ark. Bonnie, do you want to lead this part? And we need someone.
I think there is.
Okay. You want to
Yeah.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כנשגב שמו לבדו.
הודו ארץ דשמיים, ויורם כרם לעמו, תהילה לך חסידיו, לבני ישראל עמדו. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
מזמור לדוד.
Baru Adonai Melech, Baru Adonai Kavod, Baru Adonai Kavod Shemo, Yisrael Adonai Kavod Kodesh.
Adonai Elohim Rabbi.
Kol Adonai Kol Adonai Kol Adonai Shoger V'Amazim Ben Shaber Adonai
Fire Kidim Kimuet El Milanom Besir Yom Kidim and Reni
חייך סוף יראות, ובניך לא, כולו מרכבו.
Adonai Ramahu Yahshua Vayeshev Adonai Melech Le'olam Adonai Ozeamu Yitein Adonai Yevarech et Amo Bashalom.
ובנוכו יאמר. כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזוב.
Es Chaimi Lamagazim Ba Tetzom Cheva Merusham Darkei Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai Elecho v'nosula Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu
So we had the Torah reading that's talked about the 3 pilgrimage festivals. So we've had Passover, we've had Sukkot, we've had Shavuot, and frankly, by the length of the service, it's feeling a little like high holidays too. It's just got all the stuff in it. So sorry about the length, but I do want to spend just a little time on the Torah portion. So if we could look on page 1079, because I want Aaron to feel good. He likes to have that Torah portion covered, right, Aaron? And so we'll spend a little time. Now, even though it's a Passover, it starts with when one Jew needs to become a servant of another. And the word eved for servant, it means slave. It's the same word. Okay, slave, servant, because we owe someone money for some, we've been in unfortunate circumstances, whatever, and we have to go into a period of servitude. Usually there's a specific ending to it, but let's see what could happen. Someone want to read page 1079, starting verse 12.
If a fellow Hebrew, man or woman, is sold to you, he shall not serve you 6 years. And in the 7th year you shall set him free. When you set him free, do not let him go empty-handed. Furnish him out of the flock, threshing floor, and vat with which the Lord your God has blessed you. Bear in mind that you were slaves in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore, I enjoin this commandment upon you today.
Thank you. So what do we see? First of all, is being a servant to another Jew an ideal situation?
No.
No. It's something that sometimes, because of bad fortune, whatever, it's meant to be a temporary situation that happens sometime. But verse 15, remember that you were slaves and I don't want you to be slaves, I want you to be free people. But sometimes circumstances happen where we have to put our ideals on hold for a while, hopefully get back on our feet, and then, all right, so clear what's being discussed here, right? And also, remember not only to those of us who might need to be in that indentured servitude for a while, but also for those of us to whom someone is indentured. Remember what it felt like to be a slave. Treat this person well. Don't just, and when they're done, just say, oh, I'm done with you, out of my life. Give them food, give them animals, give them the means so that they don't have to be back in this situation. Okay? So that's the ideal. I mean, not the ideal, but that's what has to happen in some times when there's economic difficulties. All right. So now let's continue. Someone else would like to read, please, the next section?
But truly say to you, I do not want to leave you, for he loved you and your household, and is happy with you. You shall take it all, and put it to his ear, and listen to the door, and he shall become your slave in perpetuity. Do the same with your female slave. When you do set him free, do not feel aggrieved, for in 6 years he has given you double the service of a hired man. Moreover, the Lord your God will bless you in all you do.
Okay. So even though this is meant to be a temporary thing, the one who is the indentured servant, the Eved, the slave, can say to the master, you know, you've been good to me. I like you, been kind to me. Tovo, it's good for me. I want to stay. And so the tradition is the master and the slave go to the door, and the master takes a little piece of metal and all, and makes a little mark, but pierces the ears. Not here, people do it for cosmetics. This is done for a different purpose. Okay. So, what do you make of this? First of all, why, of all the signs that could have been done, why are they all in the ear?
It's affixing you to the house.
It's affixing you to the house. Okay, you say you want to stay, all right, this is a sign, but your choice. I haven't forced you to do this. You've chosen to do this. Yes.
And it's also a sign, anyone that sees him will know that he has opted to do that.
Okay. I've heard both those reasons. They're both good reasons. Any other reasons anyone wants it? Why couldn't it have been, I don't know, on the fingertip or something? Why the ear?
Well, on the fingertip.
Would be blood, yeah,
Hands
right,
a lot
yeah,
more than you.
yeah.
It's one body part that you really don't have a lot of use for.
Okay.
The other thing, well, I mean, they're low.
Right. Yeah, Rachel.
So if you don't
It's
have to
definitely
wait a second,
helps
you hang
in
your
here. I know you're a doctor. Definitely make blood noise. It helps you to hear, of course, but
So,
considering other things.
okay, it'll come back. If it comes back, let me know, and we'll put it back in. Okay,
It's a very obvious part of the one.
yes. I read another explanation as well, along with all of these, which is the ear that heard that we should be a free person. That the goal is to be a free person. That God took us out of slavery. That same ear is going to be used if we don't take that freedom, So that, it's almost like saying, you should, this isn't what we really want to have happen. Hope, you didn't fully hear the message.
You listened, but you didn't hear it.
It didn't, yes. And, so I've also heard that explanation. I think probably legally the ones that were mentioned earlier are more apt, but this is more of a midrash, which I think is also apt. And it made me think, how does this relate to today? And I got thinking about, what is it that we can become slaves to out of habit and comfort? This is the first time, I've read this many times, but it just struck me in a different light today. What is it that out of habit, out of comfort, it's good to me, I'm comfortable living in this way, I've got whatever.
Anything material that we can become slaves to.
Anything material?
What about an
Even-
abusive relationship?
I'm sorry?
You could become a slave to an abusive relationship.
Yes, you can become a
Because
slave.
it's comfortable for you and familiar.
That's right, that's right. Or we don't want to take the risk.
Right,
There's some comfort because it's known.
right.
Things we know can be comfortable, familiar, and sometimes the unknown, the next step, where we go, where we haven't been before, can be scary. Just like leaving Egypt was scary for our people.
But those people were at least in a group. When
Yes,
she's talking about people stuck in an abusive relationship, it's easy to tell someone to get out, but the person in it has been broken down and isolated and is very alone, and it's impossible to understand what that person feels if you haven't been in that situation.
absolutely. And we, God forbid, that sometimes we find ourselves, whether it's an abusive relationship, which is probably the worst, or in a job that's menial, or in just living our life with no purpose or goal.
I think perhaps more societal, perhaps more of a societal analysis, one could say that advertising, is kind of like this, where it's technically our choice to do what the advertisers say, but they're the ones who spend all the money and time to put the idea into our head. So is it really our choice?
And these images of being comfortable in whatever, but are we really comfortable? Rachel?
This is sort of piggybacking on what you're saying, but not entirely, it's partly what I was thinking before. That the physical symbol that's visible to other people is a very clear class distinction. And more than just class distinction, status and certain pieces of jewelry or, are status symbols. And humans are very concerned with status, even in very primitive societies, and it lets you know who's who and who has power over what. And that's the one thing that it did was not only, put the all to the wall, but it symbolized the horror of like indentured or slavery circumstance as property.
Yes, that's property.
And so you weren't as bad off as others because, as Simon said, you made the choice.
Yes.
You weren't as lowly as somebody else. But nonetheless, it's putting right into the framework of the society of a caste system.
So,
Luckily,
right, so let's,
getting through the Red Sea washed away that aspect of it.
absolutely. So I want to take this to today, to our lives today, that, and God forbid, I don't want to say someone who's been through abuse or who's been through a terrible employment situation, been through those things. I certainly don't want to blame the victim for any of this. God forbid, that's not the case. But to know that the ideal is to help strengthen them, because it's often almost impossible to get out by ourselves. and to know that hopefully it can be better and can be different. Most of us, I hope, aren't in that great distress, but all of us, I think, can take from this to look at our lives and say, where are we just comfortable? Nothing wrong with being comfortable, but where are we comfortable and stuck in? Where could we still be growing? Where could we still be more than it's just good for me? There's got to be something more that I do with this gift of freedom. And I was struck at the Passover Seder with a comment about the bitter herb, the maror. It said, why do we say a blessing of all things over the maror, over the bitter herb? It's bitter, it's terrible. Yeah, fat. Why should we say a blessing for it? The answer that's given is, we want to thank God that our slavery tasted bitter. Otherwise, I might still be in that slavery. Let not just the everyday thing that sometimes become oppressive, let us know when it's oppressive. So then we can have the strength, with the help of others and with God's help and with the support of a community, to be able to get out of that. That's what I wanted to share with you today.
There's a quote about hope and despair, and the support of despair. And it's like, to hope is to lose hope is to add to despair. To become part of the problem.
Hope is key. And that's what Pesach gives us.
Yeah.
Let's continue with Aleinu on page 183. Please rise. Aleinu Shabbat Adon HaKol Aseis Gedula Lioseh Reshit Shalom Asamu Kidoye HaRatzot Ve'lo Samanu Kimishpachot HaMamor Shelo Sam Kalkeinu Kahem Ve'gol Aleinu Kechol HaMonam אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר ארץ ומשביע לו בשמיים ממעל ושכינה סוסו Kaveh Meromi, Hu Eloheinu Eino, Emes Malkeinu Efesu Laso, Kakasu Besoraso, Yadanta Hayom Le'ashevota, Eloheinu Ki Adonai Hu Elohim B'shamayim v'ma'al v'al ha'aretz v'yitachatzeinu Kashu b'shoretecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Bayom hahu, Adonai echad, U'shemo. Ushemo This week, we recall Goldie Brodsky, Jules Hecht, Lillian Margolis Cohen, Evelyn Polanski, and Barbara Levine. Mourner's Cottage, page 184. Yitgadal v'yitkadosh shemei Rama ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayeichon v'yameichon v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba v'barach v'olam v'amei hamayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yit'halal, shnei v'kudsha, v'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Be seated, gentlemen, if you have any announcements for us today.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everyone here, everyone who may be listening at home or in the future. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. And I think that, I don't know, I was just thinking back a week ago, I wasn't sure I would make it to today, but I made it. So it's wonderful, and it's actually been a wonderful holiday. I hope it has been such for all of you. In some way or another. Saul, thank you for a really wonderful last day of the holiday service. I think everyone shares my feelings that how meaningful it was and how sort of Shabbos as well as Pesach. It's a good combination. Thank you. I know that we're later than usual, and you're aware that the Kiddush is Pesach Kiddush. So I just want to catch us up on a couple of things. Tomorrow, Sunday, at 11:45, Tikkun Olam is all set, and so those of you who are going, thank you for doing this. It's a wonderful thing that you do. And lecture tomorrow, the third in our lecture series, is timed such that people going to Kate's Kitchen will have plenty of time to come back here for 2:00 to hear Simon. This is the third lecture that we've been privileged to enjoy from him. I could go on for at least 10 minutes, but I won't. I'll simply say that if you have not been to one of Simon's lectures, it's something you should not miss. Just whatever you have planned, cancel it and besides that, I think it's not going to be such a nice day. I hear it's going to be raining all day, so you won't be able to garden, you won't be able to clean up your walk, you won't be able to do all the outside things that you might want to do. So the perfect thing for you to do is to be here at 2:00 and enjoy and learn. Because that's what we're all about. The topic of this lecture is anti-Semitism, but in Simon's usual style, it's not going to be the usual kind of talk about anti-Semitism, where he's an historian and he's going all the way back to the roots and helping us to understand where all of this came from. So this is definitely something that's very worthwhile. In addition to that, knowing that this is the first day after Pesach. Simon, I knew he knew this, so very wisely, he suggested that we end the talk with some wonderful cake. What else could you ask for the day after Pesach? So we'll be having a tea with different types of teas and different types of cakes and maybe a little chocolate thrown in. So come and enjoy tomorrow. It should be truly worth attending. On Tuesday evening, some of you who may have been paying attention to the news recently, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but on Tuesday evening at UMass, the response of the Jewish student organizations with more than the blessing of the chancellor and the administration, with Hillel as one of the lead organizations on this, planned a response to next weekend's program. And it's Challenges and Opportunities in the Israeli-Palestinian Conflict. There are flyers outside on the table here and downstairs. If we run out of these today, I will replenish them tomorrow for people who come for the talk. But I rarely get up here and tell you that this is something you attend. This time, that's what I'm saying. If you can possibly get to UMass on Tuesday evening at 6:30 in the evening, if you need a ride, call the office and we'll try to arrange to have somebody pick you up. This is unbiased. This is not going with one side or the other. This is somebody who's high in the Palestinian administration and also on the Israeli side. This should be an extremely interesting discussion, not loaded in any particular way, but simply to inform and answer questions from people who might be there. The other thing is that the university is winding down. A lot of people have already left. They're in the middle of finals. The timing on this is really not, the timing on this is not the greatest that it could be, but it is in response to Saturday, May 4th's program. And it's a way for the Jewish community at the university to try to get out the word of what we feel is really happening in Israel. So that's my pitch. Pick up a flyer if you're interested. On a more happy side, on Sunday, a week from tomorrow, May 5th, at the Machpelah, whom I think everybody here has heard them at some point and love them. And so Machpelah is going to be joining with the Holyoke High School Madrigal Singers. And they're putting on a joint concert to raise funds for the Women's Shelter Compañeros. I think it has another name, but anyway. That's what they're calling it.
Compañeros is the Spanish one in women.
Yes, I know that, yeah, but I thought, anyway, I used to call it something else, but that's beside the point. But that's gonna be at 3:00 next Sunday, May 5th. And you don't need to give a donation to come. They want everybody to be welcome. It's at Holyoke High School. And I hope that many of you will take advantage of this. There's also a flyer outside for this. Just a reminder that our board meeting is going to be on a Thursday evening this month. It's going to be Thursday, May 9th. And with that, I'll say again, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. We have a small kind of cocktail-style standing Kiddush downstairs, so if you would like to join us for a little bit of socialization. And very last, if not least, I'd like to welcome Yitzhak and Julia. Did I get the name right? Julia?
Julia's right.
Okay.
Yeah, Yitzhak used to be my Hebrew name.
Well, here you're Yitzhak, so I hope you feel comfortable. We're very happy that you we're very happy that you came to spend the morning with us, and we hope to see you again. So come on down. And Adon.
Page 187. Adon olam asher Hashem Allah, Terem kol yitzir yitzir nivra, Li'ez nasa v'chatza kol, Azay melech shemo nikra, Azay melech shemo nikra, V'yavarei hiklot hiklot hakol, Yimlot yimlot yoram, Ve'hu hayah, Ve'hu halokeh, Ve'hu yireh b'tzifarav, Ve'hu yireh b'tzifarav, Ve'hu echad v'yein sheni, Ve'ham shilo le'ha'ahirah, Ve'li'reshit ve'lisachlit, Ve'lo ha'oz ve'ham Yisrael, Ve'lo ha'oz ve'ham Yisrael, Ve'hu Eli v'chai go'ali, V'tzur chevli v'eis tzara, Ve'hu nisi u'manos li, Menat kosi b'yom ekra, Menat kosi b'yom ekra, V'yahato akidaki ruchi, V'ez nisham v'avirira, V'im ruchi k'viyasi, Adonai li le'lo ira, Adonai li ve'lo yira. Shabbat shalom. Chag sameach. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom.